Sarvesham Suprabhatam, Jai Shri Krishna. We start today's program with an invocation to Goda Devi. We offer our prayers to Goddess Goda through the Goda Stuti rendered by Sujata Shankar. Kiran.
Om Shri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpavalli Shri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam Sakshat Kshamam Karunaya Kamalamivanyam Godam Ananya Sharanas Sharanam Prapadye.
Thank you, Sujata. A very warm welcome to everyone for this edition of the Jnana Nidhi series, Godhanubhavam. One of the most enduring and meaningful legends of the Bhakti movement is the story of Periyalvar and Andal. Andal, who lived in the early 8th century, was the first woman to be identified as an Alvar of the Vaishnava stream. Alvars are those who are immersed in the depths of enjoyment of God, and she is also the only one who has been elevated to the status of a goddess. The Sthala Purana of Srivilliputtur, the quaint town where Andal was born, mentions that after Bhagavan Vishnu rescued Uma Devi from the demon Hiranyaksha, he rested in this place in Srivilliputtur and promised Uma Devi that he would stay there permanently. Vishnu rested under a banyan tree, a vata tree, and hence is worshipped as Vatapatra Sai here. Uma Devi herself was reincarnated as Andal in this Thala in the Kali Yuga. Andal, also known as Goda Devi, was actually found under a tulsi bush by Vishnu Chittar, who was also known as Periyalvar. One day, he was digging near the bush when he found a lovely child. Vishnu Chittar foresaw that this child would speak in praise of the Lord, so he named her Goda in an auspicious moment. This happened in the year Nala, in the month of Adi, in the Puram Nakshatram. Godai grew up in an atmosphere of love and devotion. Even as a child, Godai made up her mind to marry none but the Lord of Vrindavana and refused to think of any other human being in similar terms. She imagined what it would be like to be his bride, playing the role of his beloved, enjoying his presence. Unknown to her father, she adorned herself daily with the flower garland she prepared for the Lord at the temple. After admiring her reflection and thinking of herself as his ideal bride, she would put the garland back for her father to take to the temple and offer it to the Lord. When Vishnu Chitta discovered this, he scolded Godai and carefully prepared a new garland and offered it to the Lord. However, the Lord instructed Vishnu Chitta to continue to give the garlands which were already worn by Goda. Vishnu Chitta then realized the spiritual greatness of his daughter. From that day on, she became known as Andal, the girl who ruled over the Lord. In Tamil, she is also known as Sudi Kudutta Sudarkodi. When Andal came to Srirangam, she became totally drawn in love when she came face to face with the image of Lord Ranganatha and announced that she would only marry him. Lord Ranganatha himself appeared in the dream of Vishnu Chitta and asked that Andal be sent to him in all her wedding finery, and also made the priests of Srirangam prepare for the coming of Andal. Andal was brought to Srirangam, where she became one with Lord Ranganatha. We have tried to encapsulate this tale of love and devotion in a video presentation. Request all of you to join us to witness Andal's story.
திருவாடிப்பூரமதில் கோதை அவள் அவதரித்தாள். திருத்துழாய் மாடத்திலே விஷ்ணு சித்தர் கண்டெடுத்தார். திருத்துழாய் மாடத்திலே விஷ்ணு சித்தர் கண்டெடுத்தார். உண்ணும் உணவில் பருகும் நீரில் கிருஷ்ண பக்தியை அளித்தார். பக்தி எனும் சாரமுதை புசித்து பருகி மனமும் உருகி கண்ணனையே மணந்திடவே கோதை மனதில் உறுதி கொண்டாள். பாவை நோன்பு உகந்திருந்து திருப்பாவை நமக்களித்தாள். பாவை நோன்பு உகந்திருந்து திருப்பாவை நமக்களித்தாள். கண்ணனை கனவினிலே அவள் தானும் மணந்து கொண்டாள். வாரணமாயிரம் எனும் திருமொழி அவள் தந்தாள். வாரணமாயிரம் எனும் திருமொழி அவள் தந்தாள். விஷ்ணு சித்தர் பூமாலை கோதை தானும் சூடி தந்தாள். அதை உகந்த ரங்க மன்னன் ஆண்டாள் அவளை மணந்து நின்றான். அதை உகந்த ரங்க மன்னன் ஆண்டாள் அவளை மணந்து நின்றான். ஆண்டாள் அவளை மணந்து நின்றான். மாலை சாற்றினாள் கோதை மாலை மாற்றினாள். மாலை சாற்றினாள் கோதை மாலை மாற்றினாள். அண்டமதின் அன்னை அவளே பொறுமை பெருமை உருவமும் அவளே அடியவர்க்கு புகலிடம் அவளே ஆண்டவனை ஆண்டாள் அவளே அடியவர்க்கு புகலிடம் அவளே ஆண்டவனை ஆண்டாள் அவளே பொறுமை பெருமை உருவமும் அவளே ஆண்டவனை ஆண்டாள் அவளே ஆண்டவனை ஆண்டாள் அவளே.
Jai Shri Krishna, unmuted. Hope all of you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed putting it together. This video featured Asha Sampath, Lakshmi as Andal, Suma as Bhagwan Vishnu, Anu Agarwal and Neena Reddy. The background for the feature is a Tamil song on the life of Andal, written by Guru Pravina herself and rendered so beautifully by the nightingale of our group, Kalavati Ashok. A special thanks to Sita Ratnakar, who directed and shot the visuals, and of course to Kiran, who edited the video under the creative guidance of Kala. Thank you so much. Andal in her life composed 2 works. Both are in Tamil and are unique in their literary, philosophical, religious, and artistic content. Her contribution is even more remarkable considering that she was a teenage girl when she composed these poems. Andal's verses display a literary and religious maturity far beyond her years. Her first work is the Tirupavai, a poem of 30 verses in which Andal imagines herself to be a cowherd girl in Ayarpadi during the incarnation of Lord Krishna. The second one is Nachiyar Tirumuri, a poem of 143 verses. Tirumuri means sacred sayings, and it's a Tamil poetic style in which the work is composed, and Nachiyar means goddess. So the title actually means sacred sayings of our goddess. This poem fully reveals Andal's intense longing for Vishnu. We have a couple of recitations planned from these works of Andal. We first have Sumitra, who will recite the 29th verse of Tirupavai. She will start with the Thaniyan. Thaniyans are actually invocatory verses which are glorifying an Acharya and composed by Sishya. This Thaniyan for Andal is written by Parasara Bhattar.
श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः। श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। नीलातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटी सुप्तमुद्बोध्य कृष्णम् नीलातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटी सुप्तमुद्बोध्य कृष्णम् पारार्थ्यं स्वं श्रुतिशतशिरसिद्धमध्यापयन्ति स्वोचिष्टायां सृजनिगलितं या बलात्कृत्य भुङ्क्ते गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளை சரணம். சிற்றம் சிறுகாலை வந்துன்னை சேவித்து சிற்றம் சிறுகாலே வந்துன்னை சேவித்து உன் போற்றாமரை அடியே போற்றும் பொருள் கேளாய் உன் போற்றாமரை அடியே போற்றும் பொருள் கேளாய் பெற்றொம்மே துண்ணம் குலத்தில் பிறந்து பெற்றும்மே துண்ணம் குலத்தில் பிறந்து நீ குற்றேவள் எங்களை கொள்ளாமல் போகாது இற்றை பறை கொள்வான் அன்று கான் கோவிந்தா இற்றை பறை கொள்வான் அன்று கான் கோவிந்தா எற்றைக்கும் ஏர் ஏர் பிறவிக்கும் எற்றைக்கும் ஏர் ஏர் பிறவிக்கும் உன் தன்னோடுற்றோமே ஆவோம் உனக்கு நாம் ஆட்சேயோம் உன் தன்னோடுற்றோமே ஆவோம் உனக்கு நாம் ஆட்சேயோம் மற்றை நம் காமங்கள் மாற்றேலோர் எம்பாவாய் மற்றை நம் காமங்கள் மாற்றேலோர் எம்பாவாய். ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீரங்கமன்னார் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ணா.
Thank you so much, Sumitra. The impact of Tirupavai on the daily religious life of the South Indians has been tremendous. Just like the Ramayana, people are never tired of listening to the Tirupavai, and the poem itself is recited with great religious fervor by women, men, and children of all ages in Tamil Nadu, especially in the month of Margari. The first verse of Tirupavai sets the time as the first day of the month of Margari, when Sri Andal sung this verse. And Andal invites the young girls of the prosperous Ayarpadi and everyone to symbolically bathe and join in the excellent and exemplary worship of Lord Narayana, who will bless us. In this verse, the Lord is referenced as Krishna, the son of Nanda Gopan, the lion cub-like son of the beautiful-eyed Yashoda, the Lord who's dark and whose face is radiant like the sun. We now present this very popular first verse of Tirupavai, dance by yours truly.
மார்கழி திங்கள் மதி நிறைந்த நன்னாளாய் மார்கழி திங்கள் மதி நிறைந்த நன்னாளாய் நீராட போதுவீர் போதுமின் நேரிழையீர் நீராட போதுவீர் போதுமின் நேரிழையீர் சீர்மல்குமாய் பாடி செல்வ சிறுமிகாள் சீர்மல்குமாய் பாடி செல்வ சிறுமிகாள் கூர்வேல் கொடும் தொழிலன் நந்த கோபன் குமரன் கூர்வேல் கொடும் தொழிலன் நந்த கோபன் குமரன் ஏரார்ந்த கண்ணி யசோத இளம் சிங்கம் ஏரார்ந்த கண்ணி யசோத இளம் சிங்கம் கார்மேனி செங்கண் கதிர்மதியம் போல் முகத்தான் கார்மேனி செங்கண் கதிர்மதியம் போல் முகத்தான் நாராயணனே நமக்கே பறை தருவான் நாராயணனே நமக்கே பறை தருவான் பாரோர் புகழ படிந்தெலோரெம் பாவாய் பாரோர் புகழ படிந்தெலோரெம்
Thank you. And once again, the song was beautifully rendered by Kala Ashok, which enhanced the performance. In the fifth Pasuram of Tirupavai, the way to worshipping the Lord is described. You have to come with a cleansed body and pure mind, offer fresh flowers to the Lord and sing verses and songs in praise of the Lord with your mouth and think deeply of the Lord in your mind. We now have Nishant reciting the fifth Pasuram of Tirupavai for us.
Jai Shri Krishna. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha. Mayanai Manna Vadamadurai Maindanai Tuya Perunir Yamunai Turaivanai Ayar Kulattinil Tondrum Ani Vilakai Tayai Kudal Vilakam Saida Tamodharanai Tuyomai Vandanam Tumalar Tuvittoludu Vainal Padi Manattinal Sindikka Poya Pidayugo Pugudarvan Endranavu Teenil Tushagum Seppelor Empavai Andar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam. Jai Shri Krishna.
I request all of you to specially acknowledge the efforts of both Nishant and Sumitra, because the Tirupavai verses are in Tamil, which is a language they are not familiar with, but with their commitment, they have learned, practiced, and recited the verses, of course, with the divine blessings of Goda and guidance of our Guru Pravina. Thank you so much, Sumitra. I'm not sure if Sumitra is here, and thanks a lot, Nishant, for that effort.
It's all our Guru's efforts to teach us, dear.
Thanks. Thank you, Sumitra. While we are learning about the story of Goda, it is very interesting to learn about a very special bond between Goda Devi and Sri Ramanujacharya, one of the most important exponents of the Vaishnavite tradition. Ramanuja is also known as the elder brother of Andal. This has a very interesting story behind it. Ramanuja was actually reciting a Pasuram from Nachiyar Tirumuri, Narunarumpuzhil, as he was approaching Tirumalirumcholai on his way to Srivilliputtur. In that particular Pasuram, Andal desires to offer 100 vessels of butter and 100 more vessels of Akkara Vedisal to Lord Sundaraja of Tirumalirumcholai. Suddenly, Ramanuja gets worried whether Andal did indeed fulfill her prarthana. So he decides to fulfill her wish, and he offers the same Naivedyam of butter and Akkara Vedisal in 100 vessels each. Thereafter, Ramanuja continued on his journey to Srivilliputtur. There, Andal apparently moved out of the inner sanctum, the Garbhagraham, and waited for him at the Ardhamandapam to greet her elder brother, because he carried out her wish across the span of centuries, just as a responsible elder brother would fulfill the dear wishes of his younger sister. She broke her Archa silence and called Ramanuja as her Annan. She never went back to the sanctum and stays even today at the Ardhamandapam with her consort. Let us now listen to a lovely rendition of this same Pasuram from Nachiyar Tirumozhi.
நாறு நரும் பொழில் மாலிருஞ்சோலை நம்பிக்கினான் 100 தடாவில் வெண்ணே வாய் நேர்ந்து பராவி வைத்தேன் 100 தடா நிறைந்த அக்கார வடிசல் சொன்னேன் ஏறு திருவுடையான் இன்று வந்து இவை கொள்ளும் கோலோ இன்று வந்து இத்தனையும் அமுது செய்திட பெறில் நான் 100,000 கொடுத்த பின்னும் ஆளும் செய்வன் தென்றல் மனம் கமழும் திருமாலிரும் சோலை தன்னுள் நின்ற பிரானடியேன் மனத்தே வந்து நேர்படிலே ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
The beautiful voice that you just heard was that of Sudha Suresh, and the video featured Raj Iyer as Ramanuja and Lakshmi and Suma Prakash. Thank you, all of you. So far, we have learned the story of Goda Devi and enjoyed parts of her literary work. We now have Asha Sampath share her thoughts on how Andal has influenced and inspired her, and how relevant are the lessons from the life of Goda today.
Namaskaraha. To me, Andal is a person of absolute adoration, mainly because of 3 points. All these 3 points transcend to a different level of understanding for me. Point number 1. Andal is the only female Alvar among all the 11 male Alvars. No mean feat. For her to be so unique and outstanding that everybody began to worship her simply blows my mind. It goes to show that whatever the stereotype be in a society, whatever the norm society might follow, if one has a true purpose and determined to achieve that purpose, then definitely we will be outstanding. Point number 2. As Meera is to the north, so Andal is to the south. Both adored Lord Vishnu in his different forms. Meera as Krishna and Andal as Sri Ranganatha. Single-minded purpose, devotion, commitment and focus. Both these ladies were able to achieve their goal. So too can we, if we have a rightful purpose and focus on achieving it. Certainly we will be unstoppable and success will be ours. Point number 3. For Andal to be so immersed and absorbed in the absolute at such a young age is outstanding, isn't it? Vishnu Chittar, her father, definitely played a great role in instilling the right values in his child, Andal. We as adults need to impart rightful values and the way of righteousness in our children. But if we ourselves do not follow the rightful path, how can we expect the younger generation to follow suit? So if we need to set an example to the younger lot, we need to lead a righteous life. Andal Tiruvadigalé Sharanam.
Thanks a lot, Asha, for that. Now, while all of us Sishyas have submitted our presentations on the life of Goda, I welcome our Guru Praveena to further enhance our Godhanubhavam with her insights into the life of Andal. Kiran, can you pin Praveena? Or can you? Yeah. So before we start off, there are a few questions, Guru, that we have compiled from everyone. I would like to start off. This question is from Nina. Nina wants to know what Andal felt for Ranganatha. We have seen all this, whether it should be understood as love or as devotion, bhakti or prema. What is this feeling that Andal had for Krishna?
Sure. It's a very, very deep and profound question, actually. I think Ashaji also had something similar, which he had asked me earlier. So I would, compile both this and give an answer. So let's go from what we are familiar with to, what her actual mindset was. Suppose it's going to rain outside here, right? So when I just look at the weather outside and I'm like, hey, it's going to rain, I'm very excited because I love rains and the weather is very pleasant. I'm like, wow, it's going to be a wonderful time here. Suppose a person who has a lot of outdoor plans today, or possibly there's a cricket match which is fixed and it's just about to rain. People will be like, oh my God, hope, the rain holds on till, we complete whatever we have on hand. Suppose there are little kids at home and heavy rains are expected. The first thing that will come to their mind is like, hey, hope the school's closed for the day and we can have a lot of fun with all our friends and relatives here. A farmer who is waiting for a yield will be very excited when it rains, right? So here, when I say the statement, it is going to rain, the situation that rain might happen is there, but how everybody is going to think, their perspective of rain is very, very different depending on where they come from. So their background will determine their reaction to the rain. So with this in mind, let's understand when a grantha is written, the author's mindset of the grantha and the way everybody perceives the grantha from where they come from can be very, very different. So the rain happens, the way I look at the rain, the way a farmer looks at the rain, the way a school kid looks at the rain, and the way a tourist or audience for a cricket match look at the rain is very, very different. So if a small thing like this is so different, a great grantha can be looked at by different people in many, many different ways. So typically, in a normal scenario, the way granthas are looked at will have many, many layers. And these layers are called as swapadesham, swa-upadesham, which means the acharyas will connect it to what the Vedas have said, what the Upanishads have said, what the Upapuranas, so many different aspects. What they say, because this person who's written such a deep thought would have actually given the essence of that. So they will connect it to the greatest source of knowledge possible and give us the explanation. So when we look at such granthas, it will be like, normal interpretation is called as anyapadesha. The way different people look at it is called anyapadesha, and they will draw their own explanation. So for this, we have the Vyangyartham, which is like, a subtle meaning, the Vyangyartham, which is given to many of the stotras. And Dvanyartham, there are so many different things in this. I'll go into, these analysis at a later time if required. So now what we have to understand is, when we look at things superficially, it might communicate a meaning. When we look at every word of it and give the literal translation, it might give a very, very different meaning. Sometimes when a few words in the phrase is combined together, it reveals a very different understanding. And when our acharyas say that this is what was told by Sukabrahma Rishi in Srimad Bhagavatam, this part of the statement is what is reflected in Ramayana. Something else is from, Mahabharata. These are from the Vedas itself. This is the exact phrase which is a translation of Upanishads, so on and so forth. We are like, oh my God, all that is contained in this particular phrase. Not just that, our acharyas will connect the third line of this sloka and the 14th, pasuram has the same essence which is given here. This particular pasuram of, Goda matches with Bhagavan Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, where he says this. So many things. Let me just give you an example. Raji, when she started, was mentioning that Goda's first pasuram speaks about Margasisha month, the month of Margari in Tamil. And what does Bhagavan Krishna say? Masanam Margasishoham. Goda says, Margari Tingal Madinirainda Nannalal. So like this, so many things which is given in different scriptures are just compiled and given by Goda to us. So Goda's Gita, we call Tirupavai as Goda's Gita. So it is the Gita given by our Bhumi Mata, the Goda Devi. And very interestingly, because it is also the essence of all the Vedas, which is the Upanishads, we also call it as Godopanishads. So it is Goda Gita, Godopanishad. And Raji Bhagini was mentioning that Bhagavad Ramanuja is considered as Goda Devi's elder brother, though he was born much after her. So he is called as Godagraja. Godayaha Agrajaha Saha. So Godagraja is the way we address Bhagavad Ramanuja itself. So Goda is basically like intertwined in our life with so many aspects. To answer the question of Asha Bhagini and Meena ji, is it the love that she had to Bhagavan? Is it a bhakti that she had to Bhagavan? Is there a greater meaning to it? Yes, 100%. Every pasuram in Tirupavai, every line in Tirupavai, every word in Tirupavai, every aksharam in Tirupavai, every space between the words in Tirupavai communicates so much that we can understand, communicates her love to Bhagavan, communicates her deep desire to surrender to Bhagavan, to be with him, the love that she had to him. And at a very, very different level, it is the Atma Samarpana, where this Jivatma is longing for Bhagavan. Not today, not yesterday, not the day before. Eternally, the longing of this Atma, the Jivatma, each one of us, we have this longing to the ultimate Bhagavan who is omnipresent, omnipotent, the divinity. So this surrender is brought out by Goda in her Tirupavai. So it is also called as the Prapatti Shastra, where she gives the entire essence of Sharanagati to us, which is the surrender or Samarpana of the Jivatma to Paramatma, which is like the divine wedding of Goda to Bhagavan Rangamannar. And it is a deeper level meaning where they call it as a Sharanagati Shastra, which is exhibited by Tirupavai. Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
Thank you, Praveena. I think Asha's question also was on the same line. She wanted to know whether Andal's love and romance is has the deeper meaning of Jivatma ultimately merging with Paramatma. Nishant, are you here? Would you like to ask your question yourself on Gota Shuki?
Jai Shri Krishna. Yes, I can ask the question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, just a minute. Yes, Jai Shri Krishna Guru. So my question is about Andal and her parrot. So it's like this, that Andal is always seen with a parrot, but it can be any other bird like peacock, pigeon or whatever, but why only parrot? Like, what is the significance of a Godashuki? Does she really have a pet parrot, or it is some kind of symbolism to denote something? And if it's a symbolism, then please let us know what is its significance. So that's my question.
Jai Shri Krishna. Nishanji, before I answer your question, I would say your recitation was very nice. I totally enjoyed, listening to it, especially given the fact that your exposure to Tamil is very limited. So congratulations on this wonderful new experience. To answer your question on Goda, yes, all of us have seen that Goda, sports this beautiful parrot all the time. And Goda Shuki is something which is very, very interesting. So is it symbolism? Did she really have parrots around? Yes, apparently there were very many different parrots. In fact, in many of the other Alvar Pasurams also, we see mentions about parrot. Okay. No, why can't it be any other bird? Why a parrot? There have been mention of some other birds also in different contexts, like the Anna Pakshi is one of the things. There are a few different things that are there. But now specifically focusing on the parrot. Now, what is the main attribute of a parrot? The parrot always repeats what somebody teaches the parrot. So in the Sri Vaishnava Parampara, all the ancestral lineage that is brought down to us, the main thing that is expected out of us is to learn from our elders, transfer or repeat what they have told without actually, corrupting the data. It is not like you don't have to keep inventing new things all the time. Learn it clearly, transfer it so that this heritage, this lineage is maintained without getting corrupted. So the parrot does exactly the same. It learns, it repeats. It learns, it repeats. So it is like, this is the greatest help which can be done by, learning in a very clear manner, transferring the knowledge so that for generations together, this ancient treasure can be retained. That's reason number one. Another very, very important reason is that when the parrot is taught beautiful things by the acharyas. Now, what did Goda teach the parrot? She says, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Now the parrot is like, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Ranga, 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 Ranga. So the parrot now starts repeating Bhagavan's names all the time. So it keeps saying, Ranga, 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 Krishna, 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 everything. Now Goda is so desperate that her Bhagavan should come. He should get married to her. She's longing, she's waiting. She's not able to, handle herself in that situation because she's distressed by the, physical absence of Bhagavan, though he's completely in her. So she's like, no, my body cannot handle this kind of, separation anymore. I want to go merge with him right away, right now. But Bhagavan is like, Goda should be here because she has to teach us the Nachiyar Tirumozhi. She has to give us all the granthas. So she just appears in her dream, so that she can, be satisfied temporarily. At least a temporary solution is given, and then wants her to be here till her role is done. Now, in that gap, she's not able to tolerate. So she's like, no, I want to give up myself. I want to, just merge with you. I can't stay here. Now, this parrot comes in handy. It says, Ranga, 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 Krishna, 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 Rama, Rama, Rama. And now she's like, oh my God, you've given me this life. The moment I hear the words of Bhagavan, I'm able to breathe. So that kind of a life savior, this parrot has become. So the parrot is always right next to her. It's like, giving the drips, giving the mild dosage, giving the breathe. It's like saving Goda Mata whenever she goes into like, no, I can't live without Bhagavan being next to me. Krishna, Krishna. Okay, I can survive for some more time. So that is the great kind of support that the Shuka, the Goda Shuki, was actually giving to Goda Mata. This can be equated to the Ramayana, where Sita Mata was separated from Bhagavan Rama, and Ravana had actually, been torturing her, saying that I'm going to give you just a month's time. You have to decide that you want to get married to me. So she says that I can't take it anymore. I'm going to give up my life. And she's ready to actually do a, she says that, okay, I'm going to give up my life, basically. Okay. At that point of time, Hanumanji is there on the trees. He's observing everything. He saw Ravana coming and saying all this. He is observing, the desperate situation in which Mata Sita wants to do Atmahatya. So he does not have enough time to go near her, introduce and all that, because she will think that he's also Ravana's person, right? The moment she sees. So what does Hanumanji do? He says, Ram, 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 Ram. And that allows Sita Mata to breathe. That extends her life. So Hanumanji actually protected Mata Sita by his Nama Sankirtana. Shuka, parrot, does the same thing. It does Nama Sankirtana all the time, by which it protects Goda Mata. Because of Goda Mata, each one of us are protected. So it is given, the extension to Goda Mata, by which we got her work, because of which we are able to survive. So that is the greatness of Goda Shuki. Jai Shri Krishna Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
And this question is from me, Guru. We all know that Andal is an incarnation of Bhuma Devi, but what is the significance of this? Why did Bhuma Devi choose to take the form of Andal and be born in Srivilli?
Ram, 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 Ram. So is this the final question, Rajiv?
Yeah, this would be the last question.
Okay, so I'll just start with this and possibly, explain a few important things about Goda, so that we get an overall feel about her. So even for those who are new to understanding about Goda, I know Renu Bhagini, Anu Bhagini and a few others may be new to the concept of Goda. So I would like to start by giving an understanding of who is Goda, why is it important for us to understand about her, and how it's going to benefit each one of us. We all know about Sita Mata. I was just bringing out a very important part in the entire Ramayana, where Hanumanji meets Sita Mata. So if we look at Mata Sita, she was not born to anybody, right? So Ayonija, we say, right? She was found by King Janaka from the Bhumi. So she's called as, Bhumi's Putri. She's just found there. She appears there. Our Goda Mata also appeared. She was not born to anyone. She appeared in a Tulasi Madam. So Vishnu Chitta, one of the greatest devotees of Bhagavan, he's doing a lot of Kainkarya by creating a wonderful garden, plucking the flowers, making a beautiful garland, offering it to Bhagavan. That was his way of, showing his gratitude to Bhagavan. One fine day, when he goes to pluck the Tulasis, he sees a beautiful child filled with divinity, with all the tejas that, you could ever contemplate and think about. That great baby is there in the Tulasi Mada. And he's like, oh my God, this is a great gift by Bhagavan to me. And he brings her up like Mahalakshmi itself. So he says that, in this Pasuram itself, in this poetry itself, he says that Tirumagalai Valatin, I brought her up like, Goddess Mahalakshmi. What does it mean? Every microsecond, the thought was on Bhagavan, 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 nothing else. That's how, Mata Mahalakshmi is there, right? So when the father and daughter are together, absolutely no distraction, no disturbance. It's Chintana of Bhagavan, Krishna, 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 Krishna. After that, Krishna, 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 Krishna. So it's always contemplating on Bhagavan, not even an iota, a second goes without thinking about him. So this child is fed Krishna through her ears, through her mouth, through her eyes, through her thoughts, everything, words, deeds, everything. So that way, when she was little kid of 5 years, what does she do? She remembers her duty of having taken this avatar here. So why did she take the avatar, and who is she? All of us are born in this earth, in Bhumi. Now, Bhumi Mata is our mother, because she is like, what can I do for my children? What can I do for my children? She gives us air, she gives us water, she gives us livelihood, she gives us food to eat, everything she takes care. But then she keeps thinking like, all these are the basics, the essentials. What can I do for my children so that, they reach the higher plane, so that they reach the Sadgadi, they should reach, the feet of Bhagavan. What can I do for them? She craves for our good all the time. So what happened is, during the Varaha Avatara of Bhagavan, Bhumi Mata is taken to the deep waters, right? She's like Hiranyaksha takes her down, and she's there. At that point of time, Bhagavan takes this Maha Avatara, he's like the Varaha. He lifts the Bhumi, brings it back to its original position. We will be dealing in detail with Varaha Avatara when we do the Avatara Chintana later. So he's bringing her out. He's protecting Mata. Mata is still shivering. Now Bhagavan is like, you are with me. Why are you shivering? You have no reason to shiver. I'm there with you. I'm going to protect you. Usually, when the mother and child are together, the mother never worries about herself. Her worry is always about the well-being of her child, right? Whether or not she eats, she wants the child to be fed. Whether or not she is protected, she wants to protect the child. We see that even in this normal world. Think about Bhumi Mata. She always cares about how to take care of us, how to take care of us. So even in that situation where she's just rescued by Bhagavan, when she's on the way, she's like, I know, Bhagavan, that you protect me. I'm concerned about my children. Bhagavan is like, what are you concerned about? She says, I want all of them, to achieve the purpose of their life. They all are doing so many, things every day in and day out, not knowing what is their purpose, why they've come to this Bhumi. How do they actually achieve what they are supposed to achieve? Bhagavan says, I've given the Vedas, I've given the Upanishads, I've given the Itihasas, Puranas. They just have to look forward to a guru and then achieve whatever they want to. And then Bhumi Mata says that, all this is true, but, they are little children. What you're saying is fine, for really learned scholars, Pandits, all that is different. Just as how Mata Parvati is asking Rudradeva in the Sahasranama, towards the end of Vishnu Sahasranama, we listen to it, right? So she says, all my children here cannot recite the Sahasranama every single day, right? So what is the Lagu Upaya? Please tell me the Lagu Upaya, she is asking Bhagavan. And then Bhagavan says, Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatatulyam Ramanama Varanane. For all those who can't repeat the entire Sahasranama, if they say Rama 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 3 times, it'll be equivalent to that. Is that right? Similarly, here Goda Mata is like, all these complicated things are fine. Please tell them something simple, which they can easily adhere in their life, and it will help them to uplift themselves. So that is when Bhagavan actually reveals the Varaha Purana. It is one of the Sattvic Puranas, which is Varaha Purana, is revealed by Mata. Now, when such a great Purana is revealed, we usually take down the important points, right? So Goda Mata summarizes this, capsules it into, 3 important points. And then she's having her sari. She puts those 3 knots in her sari corner, to remember all these 3 as the major summary points of whatever Bhagavan is saying. Now she knows that people who come in the Kali Yuga are not going to have the capacity of what they had in the Krita Yuga or Treta Yuga. So she's waiting for Kali Yuga to protect all of us. So she's basically taken the avatar just for our sake. So Bhumi Mata, with all her, affection to us, even though we, dig, put bore wells, drain all her water, use all the natural resources, we don't protect her. She's mother, right? She's like Sakshat Shama. She's filled with so much of patience, endurance, love, affection for us. The children will do mistakes, but I will protect them. So she, Bhumi Mata, after listening to all this in the Varaha Purana, now takes the avatara of Goda Devi. So she appears. And now Kali Yuga is just, starting. She's impatient. She wants to communicate this to all of us so that, there is no delay. She wants all of us to survive. She wants all of us to reach Bhagavan. So when she's a kid of 5 years old, she gives us this entire Tirupavai. Tirupavai is a composition of 30 songs, which is like a summary of all the Vedas. We call it as Vedam Anaithukum Vittu. The seed of all the Vedas is given to us. Not just that, it is, I told you earlier, equivalent to Bhagavad Gita, Sara also. So we call it Goda Gita, Godopanishad. So everything compiled in 30 pasurams, when we grow up, we are able to have different varieties of food. We can consume whatever, our body will take care, of digestion. But when a baby is just born, what can the little baby do? The mother will actually take all healthy things, mash it up nicely so that even if the baby does not have sufficient teeth, it can still gulp, but the nutritions will be given, right? So Goda Mata takes all what is required for us from different sources, ensuring that we get the proteins, the vitamins, the carbs, whatever, makes it, mashes it nicely, and then feeds it like, how a little child should be fed. So we get whatever is required from this Tirupavai. And because we should not think that this is for a small group, this is for a particular sect, this is for, people of this region, she clarifies it in her own songs. The song which she starts with is like, Vaiyattu Vaalveervaal, all those who are living in me, all those who are living in this earth, I'm addressing this to all of you. So anybody who lives in this earth should know about the greatness of Goda, why she took her avatar, why she's given this, because she wants us to, achieve the purpose of our life. So that is the reason she was born here. And she had learned the essence of the Varaha Purana, which she communicated, right? So the 5-year-old kid tells it in her 5th Pasuram itself, the 5th song. She reveals this secret. She says, don't forget these 3 important things. You know what you should do? Tuyomai Vandanam. Do not ask Bhagavan for any silly things, because that's what our mundane life is all about. We keep asking him for all silly things. Tuyomai Vandam, come with utmost purity. Don't ask for silly things to him. And then she says, Vainal Padi. Keep doing Nama Sankirtana of Bhagavan. That's her point number 1. Keep repeating his names, keep repeating his names, keep repeating his names. Vainal Padi. So when you are repeating his names, don't get distracted with what is happening outside of you. That is not your business. When you are repeating his names, think about him. Hey Krishna, you are Damodara, the ultimate Bhagavan who measured all the 3 worlds just because of the affection of Yashoda Mata. You allowed yourself to be tied to a mortar. So the moment you repeat the word Damodara, think of the Karuna of Bhagavan, how he accommodates for anything which the devotees say. So Manadinal Sindhika, think about that Bhagavan in your mind. After that, do a archana to Bhagavan with all the flowers. So offer flowers to Bhagavan. Now we might be like, okay, but COVID is there. I just can't procure flowers. So what do I do? The 3rd point is a very difficult thing for me to accomplish. So how do I go and accomplish? So our acharyas have given such a beautiful explanation for this. The flowers here need not necessarily be the physical flowers which we pluck and offer to Bhagavan. The flowers that we offer are actually the qualities which we incorporate in ourselves. The positive qualities which Bhagavan likes that we try to incorporate in ourselves are the actual flowers we offer to Bhagavan. So this stotra of Swami Vedanta Deshika says, Ahimsa Prathamam Pushpam. Non-violence, I will not hurt anybody through my thoughts, words, or deeds. It is not just, going and killing something which is hurting. Even through my words, I don't want to hurt anybody. Even through my thought, I don't want to think anything negative about anybody. So through my thoughts or words or deeds, let me not hurt anybody. I will try to develop this quality of mine more and more and more and more, so that this will be one flower that I offer to you, oh Bhagavan. Ahimsa pratamam pushpam. Pushpam indriya nigraham. I will attempt to control all my senses. I get distracted seeing things. I get distracted hearing things. I get distracted with whatever, the world offers. I just go, wherever I'm invited. I am going to focus on, controlling my sense organs, channelizing all my thoughts towards you, O Bhagavan. Pushpam indriya nigraham. So like this, there are 8 flowers which is offered. Possibly I will teach it to you maybe on Vijayadashmi day. Okay, we'll go into the detail of this. So like this, we can offer the qualities which we attempt to enhance in ourselves, as the Pushpa says, Goda. So it is all about, singing about Bhagavan, doing Nama Sankirtana, stand, sit, move, do whatever activity associated with his name, offer it as your service to Bhagavan. Think about him all the time. You see a little child, see him as Krishna. You eat something, offer it to him before you eat. Do anything. It's all, to him. And then all the qualities which you think of as self-improvement, it is all the Pushpa. So don't just offer a singular flower. Try to enhance multiple qualities in yourself. Make it a Pushpa Mala. Offer that garland to Bhagavan. Goda offered her garland to Bhagavan, right? So offer that garland to Bhagavan. Bhagavan will very happily accept that garland. Then this Jivatma, this Atma of ours, will be in marriage with Paramatma. So Goda actually depicted this. She gave us this. And she's also said, do not worry about any of the shapas. Do not worry about any of the papas. We speak about what is called as a tapatrayam. So Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika. These 3 are the reasons why so much of suffering happens in this world. We have problems, which is because of our own mental doing, like when it rains, people are upset. When it shines, people are upset. Anything goes outside, people are upset, right? It is all in our mind, how we react to things. It is Adhyatmika, the torture we create for ourselves. Adi Bhautika. COVID was there, something external, we can't control, it affects us though, right? So all the external things which can affect us. Adi Daivika, natural calamities, right? So that could, we could have a tsunami or a volcano eruption, or so many things can happen. All these affect our life. So these are the tapatrayams. Goda says, don't worry about all these things. So she says, whatever is the shapas or the papas, it all happens because Bhagavan is upset with you for something. And how can all these get relieved? Chenkan chirichiride emmel vizhiyavo tingalam adityanam ezhundar pol angan irandum kondu engal mel nokudiyel engal mel shapam ezhundelor embavai. All your shapas will go off if Bhagavan's glimpse, his glance just falls on you. What should you do for his glance to just fall on you? Just do what he's asked you to do. Sing his praises, contemplate about him. Just do what Goda is asking us to do. Enhance your personal qualities, says Goda. So she gives all these to us as essence of, all the Veda Shastras. She says, surrendering to Bhagavan is our only way out of the samsara sagara. So surrender to Bhagavan the way she did. And she led by being an example for us. So what did she do? She said, nothing outside of me is going to dictate what I'm actually going to do. She could have decided to be born when Bhagavan Krishna was born, right? Because Krishna was an avatar, she's an avatar. She could have chosen to be born at that time. She did not. Even though she suffered so much because of her separation, physically, she just could not tolerate it. It's like fish out of water. She was like, oh my God, when am I going to be with you? When am I going to be with you? It's so difficult for me to be without you. Think of a couple and the child is studying somewhere while the husband has got transferred. The lady suffers so much because her husband is elsewhere. But then the kid's education can't be stopped halfway. So she has to stay with the kid to ensure that, the education is completed. So she wants to be there, but her duty expects her to be here. So difficult, but she sacrificed her, married life for the sake of her child. But that is a torture. Our Goda Mata underwent the same thing. She wanted not to be separated from him even for a second. She was here with us, not during the Krishna Avatara, but after the Krishna Avatara, just so that she can lead us by example. So she was born during Kali Yuga. Krishna was not there. So what did she teach us by that? She said, physical presence of Bhagavan is not required. What is required is your mental meditation, dhyana of Bhagavan is what is required. So that all of us can do it even now. So thinking about him can be done at any point of time. Sri was not born in Vrindavana or, Mathura or Dwaraka or Gokula. She was born, in an extremely different place. She was born in Srivilliputturu in Tamil Nadu. Why? She said, space is not a constraint. Where you're born has nothing to do. In my mind, I'm in Vrindavana, she says. In my mind, I'm in Gokula, she says. So when she had to do this vrata, mentally, she does a role play, changing everything around her. She changes Srivilliputturu into a Vrindavana, into a Gokula, into a Vrajabhumi. She makes all her friends as Gopikas. She role plays, saying that all of you are Gopikas for me. That Bhagavan in the temple, the Vatapatra Sai, who Raji was explaining, became her little Krishna. So she said, all of us are now going to, go and do a shower in the Yamuna River. Was there Yamuna River? No. So what did she have her shower? Where did she get the water from? Bhagavan's qualities was the very water in which she wanted everybody to immerse themselves. So immerse yourself in Bhagavan's qualities. Everyone here are the Gopikas. This place is the Vrajabhumi, and this Bhagavan is my Lord Krishna. My own father is Nanda Gopala. My own mother is Mata Yashoda. She said, environment, circumstances, space, time, nothing is a constraint. Your mind has to contemplate on Bhagavan was her greatest lesson. Don't give excuses was her greatest lesson. And what did she do? She said, I want to set the highest target in the world. I want to get married to the ultimate Paramatma, Bhagavan. But Bhagavan's avatara is not now. Rukmani could get married, at that time because she was also, born at that time. She took the avatara the same time as Krishna did. You are born at a different time, Goda. How can you get married to Bhagavan? She says, that's not a constraint. So she does this kind of a vrata where Bhagavan accepts the garland which she wore. She wore the garland and then offered it. Bhagavan said, this is the best garland. I don't want anything which is not offered to Goda going forward. Even today in Tirumala, Srivilliputturu, Srirangam, garlands are offered to Goda, which Bhagavan accepts and wears. So that is the kind of bhakti which she actually exhibited. And we call Bhagavan as Andavan, the one who rules over everything. Just as how Yashoda Mata tied the Lord who can never be tied, Goda Mata tied Bhagavan with all her affection by ruling over Bhagavan because of her bhakti. So that is Goda Mata. So not only herself, she ensured that all of us are uplifted. If we follow what Goda says, she ensures that, all of you along with me can actually, achieve Bhagavan Seva eternally. So she says, just come pure, with your words, praise him. With your qualities, offer the pushpas to him. And with all your mind, keep contemplating about him. This is the message I want to say as the essence of everything. And this is fed to us as a customized mother-filled affection food, just for the sake of us. So that is the greatness of Goda and being born in this earth, because Goda Mata Avatara is here. Being born here, we have to ensure that we understand her, we appreciate her, we are filled with our gratitude to her, and we do what she wants us to do. So on this auspicious day, let's recollect the beautiful way in which Goda Mata offered her garland, her devotion, her bhakti filled with all her auspicious qualities to Bhagavan, which Bhagavan very happily accepted, sported, and even today he does sport it. So Goda Rangamannar wedding actually takes place. When we think of this divine wedding, all our sins are wiped off, all our shapas are gone, all our papas are gone, because that is what our mother is actually doing us. And our mother is always doing good for us, irrespective of what we do to her. So the smallest thing that we have to do is know about her, remember her, and practice what she's preached. So for this, as a thanksgiving, as an offering filled with my thanksgiving to my Goda, we have next piece, which is a song which shows our gratitude at the feet of Goda Mata. So Raji Bhagini, you can take over from this. I'll connect after the song. Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
Ravina Guru. As she mentioned, we now wish to offer our salutations to Goda Mata through a song. This song is titled Danya Danya Gode. It is again written by our Ravina Guru and set to music and sung by Vasuji. The specialty of this song, when you listen to it, I want you to observe this. It has 7 verses, and here Ravina uses the words. We have this stotram of Goda, one line, Om Godaya Namaha. So Om, the Pranava mantra, is split into A, U, and the Akaram, the Ukaram, and the Makaram. Godaya is split as 3 syllables, Ga, Dha, and Ye. And Namaha is treated as 1 syllable. So these 7 syllables, Akara, Ukara, Makara from Om, Ga, Dha, and Ye, and Namaha. These 7 syllables have been used by Guru Pravina. Each of the verses, the first paragraph will fully have words beginning with Akaram. The second paragraph will have fully words beginning only with Ukaram. And she has carefully composed this song, written this song with these 7 verses. And Vasuji will be singing this very special song for us today.
Yeah, just to add to what Raji Bhagini has said. So we will start every paragraph with the appropriate Akshara. And you can observe every word in that will also start with the same Akshara. So every word,
all the words in that particular verse will be the same Akara.
Every word in that paragraph will start with A. If a paragraph starts with Ma, every word will start with Ma. So that's the way it's customized. So Dr. Vasudev Sridharji was like, you can listen to it. It's a bliss when you listen to his voice now. Jai Shri Krishna.
ಇವರೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ರೈಫಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್
हरि पुण्य नाम कीर्ति धन्य धन्य गोदे श्री हरि पुण्य नाम कीर्ति मंगलांग गोदे श्रीधर प्रेम सार वनिते मंगलांग गोदे श्रीधर प्रेम सार वनिते धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे अमित यमलाखिले अक्षर अचले अभयाप्ते अमित अमलाखिले अक्षर अचले अभयाप्ते अद्भुतार्थ आर्ये अच्युत अयनामगमृते अद्भुतार्थ आर्ये अच्युत अयनामगमृते धन्य धन्य गोदे श्रीहरि प्रेम सारवनिते धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे उभय उचित उरुचि उत्तम उदित उक्त उक्ते उभय उचित उरुचि उत्तम उदित उक्त उक्ते उज्ज्वलांब ऊर्वी उपेन्द्र उचित उदात ऊर्मे उज्ज्वलांब ऊर्वी उपेन्द्र उचित उदात ऊर्मे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे मृदुल मधुर माले मृदुल मधुर माले माधव मनसि मग्नमाये मृदुल मधुर माले माधव मनसि मग्नमाये मानवांब मन्ये मंगल मोक्ष मार्ग मूले मानवांब मन्ये मंगल मोक्ष मार्ग मूले धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे गोप गोपी गेये गोकुल गेये गोद गीते गोप गोपी गेये गोकुल गेये गोद गीते गोपिकानुग्रहे गोविंद गोप्तृगान गोदे गोपिकानुग्रहे गोविंद गोप्तृगान गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे दास दुख दहने दास दुख दहने देवी श्री दया दृष्टि द्वारे दास दुख दहने देवी श्री दया दृष्टि द्वारे दत्त धार्य माले दर्शन देहि दिव्य दयिते दत्त धार्य माले दर्शनं देहि दिव्य दयिते धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे यमुनानाथ प्रिये यादव यशोदाम्बा स्नुषे यमुनानाथ प्रिये यादव यशोदाम्बा स्नुषे योगदान युक्ते योगेश योग यज्ञ यात्रे योगदान युक्ते योगेश योग यज्ञ यात्रे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे धन्य धन्य गोदे नमो नित्यश्रिये नमो नित्यश्रिये नटवर निरत निखिल निपुणे नमो नित्यश्रिये नटवर निरत निखिल निपुणे निश्चल निमगे नंदन नंद नंद नंदे ನಿಶ್ಚಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಂದನ ನಂದ ನಂದನಂದೇ ಧನ್ಯ ಧನ್ಯ ಗೋದೆ ಶ್ರೀಹರಿ ಪುಣ್ಯ ನಾಮ ಗೀತೆ ಮಂಗಳಾಂಗ ಗೋದೆ ಶ್ರೀಧರ ಪ್ರೇಮ ಸಾರವನಿತೆ ಧನ್ಯ ಧನ್ಯ ಗೋದೆ 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 ವಿಲಸತು ಹೃದಿ ಗೋದ ಧನ್ಯ ಧನ್ಯ ಗೋ ವಿಲಸತು ಹೃದಿ ಗೋದ
I mean, if something could actually leave us speechless, I think it would be this video. So the song rendition by Vasuji, and so beautifully written, and just as Sushi mentioned in the chat, it's a very difficult form to write. Yeah. Ravina, I think you have outdone yourself, and the videos also have been compiled by Pravina this time. We just got the link and played it. So it was so beautiful to watch and a blessing to all our senses. And as a concluding part, I'm going to introduce one more video, which is not even shared with Pravina, but this came in last minute. Initially, I took the, I took the liberty with a friend of deciding not to play it for want of time. But we are still on time. I just want to acknowledge her efforts in this particular presentation and play this last video. Kiran.
Hindu weddings, the groom is looked upon as Mahavishnu and the bride Sri Mahalakshmi. The Lord himself came down to marry Kodai or Andal because of her love and devotion. Every parent wishes this kind of joy and happiness for their daughters. So when wedding songs or Unjal songs are sung, Andal's name is also taken.
Next video.
Adipura Tiru Adipura Tudita Andal Namko Dai Andal Namko Dai Andal Namko Dai Adiyaranganudan Nujal Adiyaranganudan Nujal ஆடினாளிப்போது லாலி 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 லாலி.
Thank you so much, and back to Pravina for Shanti.
Jai Shri Krishna Raji Bhagini, I could not hear you properly.
No, I just said back to you for the Shanti Mantram and the conclusion.
Jai Shri Krishna. So, actually, I'm a little emotional to speak now after such a beautiful morning with so much of thoughts on Goda. Goda is like, I don't know, she's our Mata, and she's been with me for a very, very, very long time. And I relish when we speak about Tirupavai. Every word of it gives so much of bliss when we contemplate on it. Her Nachya Tirumori is so deeply filled with her love to Bhagavan. So let us just pray to Goda Mata that she gives us an opportunity to experience some of her pasaram sometime in the future. So let's try to, learn something of her works. In fact, Goda Stuti, which was recited by Sujata Shankar Bhagini, she recited the very first two-liner of that. That is our Samskrita version, which is given by Swami Vedanta Deshika on Goda. So Goda was the name in Sanskritam for Kodai. We call her Kodai in Tamil, Goda in Sanskritam. And Goda Stuti, the very first two-liner, which was sung by Sujata Shankar Bhagini, basically shows us like what kind of a person she is. Swami Deshika says, Sakshat Shamam Karunayam Kamalamivanyam Godam Ananya Sharanaha. So Sakshat Shama means like, patience, endurance. So who's an embodiment of that kind of patience and endurance? It's Bhuma Devi, right? So Swami Vedanta Deshika says here that Sakshat Shamam, you are the embodiment of Bhuma Devi herself, but it is not sufficient if I just say that you are Bhuma Devi, because added to the qualities of Bhuma Devi, you are here just because of your Karuna. So that Karuna, who's a Karuna Swarupi? Mata Mahalakshmi is filled with Karuna. That's why she's in the heart of Bhagavan, right? So you are Shama, Karunaya, Kamalami. You're also, got that entire Karuna of Kamala Devi, of Mata Mahalakshmi, combined together as one personality, Ho Goda. So Sri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpavallim. Sri Vishnu Chitta is like, her father's name is Sri Vishnu Chitta. So Swami Vedanta Deshika has actually made a pun of this beautiful word. He starts the entire Goda Stuti by saying Shri. Shri means Goddess Mahalakshmi. All fortunes are represented with Shri, right? So this entire Stuti starts with the phrase Shri. And then Shri means Mahalakshmi. Divya Dampati will never be separated, the divine couple. So immediately he says Vishnu. So Shri Vishnu are the first two words with which this entire Goda Stuti starts. Shri Vishnu. And then Chitta means mind. The one who has Bhagavan Vishnu in his mind all the time is Vishnu Chitta. That is how the normal interpretation happens. But as I was mentioning to you earlier, there are so many layers of meaning which, take us to a very different transcendental mood, right? I'll give you this as an example. So Sri Vishnu Chitta, name of Vishnu Chitta, Goda's father. He had Bhagavan Vishnu always in his mind, therefore he is Vishnu Chitta. The phrase starts with Sri, which is all fortune-giving embodiment Goddess Mahalakshmi, and Bhagavan Vishnu, the Divya Dampati who can never be separated. But what was like, wow, is like Sri Vishnu Chitta is Bhagavan Vishnu's heart is filled with Goda's father Vishnu Chitta, because this kind of Goda was given to Bhagavan. So Bhagavan's heart is now filled with the thought of gratitude to Vishnu Chitta. That is why it started as Sri Vishnu Chitta. So it says Sri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpavalli. She's like Kalpavalli, the tree which gives anything that we want. So Sri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam. She's like a creeper, So Kalpavalli is like a creeper which can give us any wish that we want. But whenever we speak of a creeper always needs a support. Without a support, a creeper cannot be there, right? So what is our Goda Devi support? Sri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam. Bhagavan Rangaraja's heart which is filled with the fragrance of sandalwood, is the support for this wish-giving creeper who can satisfy all our wishes. Without Ranganatha, she can't even think of herself. So that support, she gives us everything that we want. Sri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam. And what is she? Sakshat Shamam Karunayam Kamalami Vanyam. The embodiment of all the Kshama, all the Karuna, like, Mother Earth and our Mata Mahalakshmi, combination of both of them together is Goda. To this Goda, what can I do? Godam Ananya Sharanam Sharanam Prapatya. All I can do is offer my surrender at your feet, O Mata. So with this thought, I will offer my surrender at the feet of Goda Mata. Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam, Rangamanna Tiruvadigalai Sharanam. Jai Shri Krishna. Raji Bhagini, would you like to conclude with something? Otherwise, we could say a Kayena Vacha and conclude for the day.
Yeah, you can conclude with the Shanti Mantra.
We will say a Shanti Mantra and conclude for the day. Kayena Vacha Manasendriyaiva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yat Yat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami Narayanayeti Samarpayami Achyutaya Namaha Anantaya Namaha Govindaya Namaha Achyutaya Namaha Anantaya Namaha Govindaya Namaha Achyutaya Namaha Anantaya Namaha Govindaya Namaha Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Shri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpavallim Shri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam Sakshat Shamam Karunayam Kamalami Vanyam Godam Ananya Sharana Sharanam Prapatye. Tiruvadi Purathu Jagatudittal Valiye Tirupavai Muppadum Seppinal Valiye Periyalvar Pettedutha Pen Pillai Valiye Perambudur Mamunikku Pinnanal Valiye ஒரு 143 உரைத்தாள் வாழியே உயரரங்கற்கே கண்ணி உகந்தளித்தாள் வாழியே மறுவாரூர் திருவள்ளி வளநாடி வாழியே வன்புதுவை நகர்கோதை மலர் பதங்கள் வாழியே வாழி வாழி வாழியே. ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ரங்கமன்னார் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ணா.
Beautiful, Bhagini. It was too good. Too good. We never knew anything about it.
Jai Sri Krishna. It was so informative.
Very, very. I think now we know about Andal, Godhanubhavam, everything we know, the whole story, the way Raji, Asha, and Pravina Bhagini explained it.
She was born for our sake. We should know, right? So, in fact, I'm very happy that this is coming just before the Navaratri time, so that we offer to the great feminine power and offering it to our Bhumi Mata, where we reside, is of paramount importance. So it's coming on time just before Navaratri, I felt.
Thank you, Guru.
And what performance by each of you. Oh my God, it was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Today, I'm at a totally, different frame of mind from the moment the entire series started. It's like Sujata Shankar Bhagini had very less time, and she, has registered the pronunciation so well, and she did her rendition. And it was
also. I mean, can we stop the recording perhaps?
It's okay, Bhagini. Yeah, it's okay. It's good.
In fact, she was unwell the whole time, and we were not sure whether she'd be able to finish it, but she took the effort and the time and recorded and sent it on time.
Amazing.
So I maybe didn't do a formal vote of thanks or anything.
Yeah, you can do that now. Live recording can continue.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone because suddenly 2 weeks back when Pravina announced this and said, I want Raji to lead this, I was as usual full of, and panic.
I was
and
so
confusion.
confident that you would do justice to it, and you did.
No, but I'm glad it all fell in place.
Amazing.
And the video recording at Savera, that wholly belongs to Nina. That's Nina's forte. We were able to pull it off this time with Sita's help. And I want to especially thank Kala because I ended up traveling the last 2-3 days also. And she helped me so much for the music. because once we recorded the video, we wanted to sync that entire song to the video. Kala put in so
Raji
much
Bagini, I
effort.
would like to add here, Kala Bagini, I sent her the song and I was like, can you sing it? And she's like, oh, this song, I don't know the song earlier. And then she took the efforts and she's just ended it at such a grand note, like I requested her to focus on the Andavanai Andal Avale because, that phrase was very close to my heart because I felt that with Bhakti, we can even rule over the ultimate Bhagavan,
Lord.
which Goda actually proved by example. So Andavane Andalavale was something, which came spontaneously. Goda possibly wanted that in this phrase. So I was like, emphasize on that. And Kalabagini took that to a really nice level and finished it on such a high note. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it. Thank you so much, Kalabagini. Amazing.
And thanks to everyone. Suma, I don't know if she's here. Suma,
She's
Lakshmi, Raj, everyone, because I know it's how difficult it is with all our schedules. Come there, spend 2-3 hours getting dressed for this 1 minute video. All of you spent 3 hours. Raj, thank you so much for all your enthusiasm. I know we cut your part drastically.
I was admiring Lakshmi Bagini. She looked so pretty, Andal, for me. I was like, I went on video mute and I was like, kind of thing. She looked so cute.
Thank you,
Vishnu
Lord.
and Sumal
Thank
looked
you, thank you, thank you, Guru.
Yeah. And especially Sumitra and Nishant, I was bugging them for the video, send the audio, send the video. And Sumitra said, I'm practicing. I still have few mistakes to correct. When I saw the video, I can imagine for someone who doesn't know the language, what an effort it would be to, understand it, learn it, and recite it with so much perfection. Thank you so much, Nishant. Your recitation was really, really
they both
sweet.
sent their audios to me. And typical of me, I was like, yeah, it is nice. But these places can be corrected. And I think they reworked on it. And it's like, finally the outcome is so good. Sumitra
And
Bagini,
when we
great
did
job,
the recording,
and very
I said, Meena was very particular about that Akara Vedisal and the recording of that video. I said, look, we don't have time. I'm always afraid. Oh, no, we don't have time. We don't. No. She said, this is food. We need to bring this, and we recorded it. And with that 17 seconds, I was breaking my head what to do with it. And then Sudha Suresh sent that Nachiyar Tirumuri, which was so appropriate to that. And Kiran, of course, was a blessing. I was bugging him on Monday. I was bugging him yesterday.
Yeah, before you go to Kiran, regarding the rendition by Sudha Bagini, what a rendition, I was like, if you do not have time, it's okay, Bagini, if you do a recitation. So I told her, like, this is the recitation and this is like a song. So do whichever you're comfortable with. And she was a Kokila. It was literally like, it sounded so beautiful thing. And it was like Goda saying like, oh my God, this is the Pasram which I sang for Aragar, so beautiful, so beautiful.
So much.
Very nice.
Till 2 days back, I was not sure whether we'll include it. I thought I'll just apologize to Raj and Sudha because we were not sure how to sync it. But yesterday it had come across so beautifully when we sat and compiled it. I'm so glad we included that story because for all this, I have been reading. I, for example, till about 10 days back or till you mentioned it, I didn't know about this connection. I know the broad Andal story and everything, Srivilliputtur and all that. This connection with Ramanuja and what happens in Aragar Koil, I didn't know. So it was such a blessing for me to read up all this and then work on this. And I saw Vasuji's presentation at least thrice. That was again so beautiful. Thank you all for this opportunity. And if I've missed out a few names, it's just by chance.
Yeah. So
thank you so much for all the help
that
you
add like Raj Mahodaya with his Tiruman Sri Charanam was like, oh God,
Actually, Pravina, can I say something? Raji had some. Raji,
Raj, you're a born actor.
I know. Hey, Raji, thank you so much, Raji. It was a fabulous show. And you know what? I really don't worry about my video stuff. I come mostly for company. If I'm free, I'm at Savera. And the bonus is the free food I get. So I'm quite happy. I got shakkar pongal and I got pakoras and I got a nice cup of coffee. And my afternoon was made. Thanks, Nina. So Raji, never worry about my role. I come there for company.
Yeah, and I would definitely like to say, like, Asha Bagini's, the feel of the 3 points. It was so practical and, it really connected Goda to what it's in. I mean, what we can do with it today. It's like, it's a beautiful thread. And it was her experience which she spoke. You know, it was like she's trying to live her life based on the inputs from Andal. So amazing, Asha Bhagini. That was really, really wonderful. And Raji Bhagini, you never told me you're dancing for the first pasuram. I was like, wow. It was really, really nice. And so it started very nicely with the first pasuram. And Sumitra Bhagini said the last pasuram, which is 29th, you know, before the Palastuti. So it's like we've covered the first and the last part of the Tiruppavi pasuram. And the most important fifth pasuram, which I explained today, was recited by Nishant. And the offering from Nachia Tirumori recited, or sung beautifully by Sudha Bhagini. And even the wedding was done by Kala Bhagini. So it's like a complete package that we had today.
And that's another thing. Kala sent this video. Kala is not here. She's here. She sent this video at 11 o'clock. 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock yesterday. I had by that time sat with Kiran, finished everything. And Kiran calls me and says, what is this new video, ma'am? Then Kala said, she worked only on that Savera. She didn't know what else had happened. So எதுமே இல்ல அதனால நான் ஒண்ணுமே பண்ணலையே நான் இத உனக்கு அனுப்பி வைக்கிறேன் ஐயோ கலா நிறைய இருக்கு கலா டைம் இல்ல
sorry apology
and I think I sent my
டைமே இல்ல இருந்தாலும் நான் கஷ்டப்பட்டு ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணி அனுப்பிச்சிட்டேன் then I told I fell in her feet and told her let me see because I've set everything and I don't know how long it will take but if I have time I'll play it. You know what Kala said, no don't play it, forget it, I will delete it also.
I sent my video at 2 a.m. my time, you know, like the revised version of my video, and it's like, okay, fine, we can just play it and all that. So it was like, and Vasuji was so busy with so many activities. He literally pushed himself. He recorded sometime at midnight and sent it across to me. So that was like, you know, his throat was really bad. He was like, I don't know how I'm going to record Praveena ji. I said, like, no, Goda will take care. And it's come out like so beautifully. Like, you know, I can't even listen to it without tears flowing down. It's so beautifully done and amazing it was. So
amazing. Praveena,
I would like to say, Raj, 1 minute. Thanks to our casting director Neena Reddy, who knows whom to choose for which role. For example,
one is casting director and costume designer.
Yes, exactly. Like, you know, and Asha and Raj and Lakshmi and Suma, so well. They looked exactly the what they were portraying over there. Like it was so beautiful. The Lakshmi was too beautiful.
Exactly. And you know, everybody wearing this lower thing, the tilakam.
That is so Kumar.
And that the best thing Kumar. I like about Neena Bhagini is, I'm not sure if she's here, but the best thing I like about Neena Bhagini is that, you know, she never cuts the corners. It's like, you know, Bhagavan in that hardly comes for a few minutes. But look at the crown. It's like Bhagavan, you know, that has to be there, irrespective of the duration or whatever. She never cuts corners. She's like amazing in that. So everybody looked their role. Everybody, you know, played their part, and it's beautifully taken. So much of efforts for this.
Praveena Bhagini, that is because of the Savera team being there. Because everything is procured for us immediately. Like, you know, it's because of the entire Savera team who supports us there.
And Hiran's collection of photos, the way he's compiled it, and today's such seamless, you know, appearance of all the videos, you know, it's like a flow. It's like watching something which is in a theater rather than thinking that we are playing it now and then. It's like so beautifully the flow has been organized. Outstanding.
No, Kiran,
I also want to.
And Malgudi
is not there. We can't do it.
Sujata Bhagini, I didn't hear you.
The Malgudi restaurant has become a studio.
Yes. I also want to add something, Praveena. Is that Nishant and Sumitra, right? Neither one know Tamil. And wow, and I'm like simply shocked how good they were. And you know what? It's nice to hear Tamil from non-Tamilians because it adds a nice accent, which I simply love, and you pay more attention to it. So thank you, both of you. I mean, I really want to single them out.
Truly admirable, because I found it difficult. Especially Nishant, amazing Nishant being a North Indian too.
It's namakku Tamil attupadi. For us,
wonderful.
For them, wow, what a difficult stuff for them, and they did so well. So thank you.
Wonderful.
Even Sudha is not used to singing this kind of Tamil, and she did it so beautiful. She's not used to singing much of Tamil, Pravina Guru.
Wow.
And Pasuram level of Tamil is
loved
very
loved it. And I'm shameless to say that after listening to my song, she sang it so well. I was like, this is what I sang. You're singing it so well.
So thank you for correcting me, Guru, because I had fun. Tiruvadi, I think
No, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to listen to your thing. Wow.
I found it very difficult. I'm just surprised that these two North Indians did the Tamil rendition so well. Amazing. Both of you required something.
On the whole, thank you all so much. It's been such a beautiful morning. It's really fulfilling for me to see all these things in action. So, dhanyavada.
By Andal's decree, they have been declared Tamilians. These two people have been declared Tamilians by Andal's decree.
So, can we recite Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam once? Andal
Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.